Mystic Short here. Today, I'm going to describe a science fiction film called The Mandela Effect. Spoilers ahead. Keep an eye and take care. This day, a game maker named Brendan, his wife, Claire, and their daughter named Sam are on vacation to a beach. The three of them have fun being together, full of enjoyment, jokes, and laughter. While they are relaxing, Sam proposed to look for snails in this area of the beach, and she promises not to play in the water. Claire grants on the condition that Sam doesn't go too long from their sight. When Sam is busy viewing for snails, she doesn't understand that the waves drag her curious George. Sam go for to take the doll, but sadly, she is drooping along by the waves. Sam's passing makes Brendan and Claire feel very despondent. Claire tries to move on, but Brendan, who loves his daughter very excess, couldn't just let her go. While they are filling Sam things, Brendan unintentionally sees a book titled The Berenstain Bear. He feels strange because he surely remembers that the book was in the past titled The Berenstain Bear with an E, rather of an A. When they are napping, suddenly an odd sound comes from the kitchen, and it ends up being Matt, his brother-in-law, who comes to view for food in the freezer. Brendan then provides him some pizza, and he also asks Matt about the book The Berenstain Bear. Matt responds that the book is titled The Berenstain Bear with the letter E, but Brendan showing Matt that the correct writing is The Berenstain Bear with the letter A. Out of curiosity, Brendan tries to searching it on the internet, and it swing out that there are a lot of people who think that the writing in the book is The Berenstain Bear with an E. Brendan persevere to look for knowledge about it, until he finally finds a theory that explains the matter, namely the Mandela effect theory. The next day, Brendan is mixed up by the photo of his family on the cold storage. He asks his wife where the picture was taken, and Claire responds that it was taken in front of the Griffith Lookout, but Brendan is very confident that they didn't take photos in that place. Instead, they seen photos at the Pacific Science Center in Seattle. His wife doesn't react and tells him to go away because she is busy cooking. Brendan then goes to see Matt and describe about the Mandela effect theory. Brendan feels that he is experiencing the Mandela effect circumstance, but Matt denies and says that the circumstance is just fake memory. But Brendan still believes in his theory and believes that he now lives in a coordinate universe. Brendan go on to research these theories, and then he sees on the forum that the Mandela effect is caused by and research with a large Harding collier created by CERN. The experiment is organized in 2008 in Russia, and at that time, a lot of people experience strange phenomena, one of which is the Mandela effect. Brendan then tries to go to a priest named Isaac, turned out about the presence of God. And then listening to Isaac's talks, Brendan doesn't believe that God has produced this world. Seeing Brendan's new behavior, Claire tries to remind Brendan not to strip with past memories. With Sam, she wants Brendan to blow the past and live another life. He then asks his wife about the photos of the man in the Monopoly. Claire firmly believes that the guy's picture in Monopoly is draining a monocle on one side of his eye. When she search it, it turns out that the guy's photos is not used a monocle. Furthermore, Brendan also show that the monkey Mystique Curious George doesn't literally have a tail, but the Curious George doll that Sam had has a tail. Brendan tries to justify that all of these relate to the theory of the Mandela effect. Brendan feels that Sam's dying at that time is just addition parallel universe variant that enters the current world and then adapted the actual events. But Claire is annoyed and disappointed with Brendan, who only cares about oneself with strange theories, making them not able to move on. Even so, Brendan remained convinced that the Mandela effect occur. Brendan then studies the theory wider. He determined that the Mandela effect could occur due to another parallel universes being mixed into the world he is currently living in. Parallel universes themselves are numerous, and each parallel universe involve another version of the current life story. He feels in all probability Sam is as yet invigorated in another parallel universe. In the end, he finds the name of a scientist named Dr. Roland Fuchs, who also believe that this world is just a paralleling. Brendan then tries to see Dr. Roland, but he is too busy at the time. The next day, Brendan attempts to see him again. There the two of them have a chat about Roland's research. The doctor justify that his research reveal that the universe is a computer simulation designed for an uncharted purpose. The simulation then creates new simulations with a different version of the story every second. The Mandela effect accomplished by Brendan is a form of error, or a mix between the current simulation and another simulations. That's what caused life to go wrong. From Roland's explanation, Brendan also concludes that, if a program forms this world, he could change the program by using script coding, so that the world runs properly, without any bugs. But it looks like he can't do that, if he only uses an ordinary computer. Dr. Roland also agrees that they can't change the world with just an ordinary computer with very low specifications. Roland then shows Brendan that he and his team have made the first quantum computer stored in one university. Dr. Roland then explains that there's a possibility that Brendan's program could be run utilizing the quantum. Brendan then decides to look for books on quantum computer programming and start coding scripts based on them. He also combines some of his game programming code with quantum code so that he manages to create a new script. The next day, Brendan is amazed by the presence of Sam, who is as of now at their home. At first, he thinks that it is just his imagination, but in the end, he believes that he is the one who brings Sam back from the parallel world. Without wasting time, Brendan then takes advantage of it by having fun with his daughter. Brendan is happy because he manages to shift the story of Sam's death with another parallel version. But at that time, Brendan begins to feel strange about Claire's behavior. He realizes that in the parallel version he sees now, Sam is still alive, but Claire becomes a very stressed woman. Suddenly, Brendan goes straight to Dr. Roland, but he is shocked when he hears the news that Roland committed suicide 2 months ago. He feels that the script he entered caused an extraordinary Mandela effect. Realizing a bug in the script, Brendan immediately decides to make a coding script to run the command to reinstall the universe. The reinstallation aims to make the universe runs normally without any bugs like the Mandela effect. Brendan doubts the script. He is worried that the universe would be destroyed and could not be recreated. But for the sake of his daughter and wife, Brendan decides to go to the facility where the quantum computer is and then start entering his coding script. Brendan manages to run his script and the quantum computer then shows signs of reaction. Brendan immediately rushes away, but he sees all the cars in the parking lot are missing. On the bus, he sees that everyone is starting to glitch. He sees the buildings also glitch. Brendan then goes to see his family, and he sees that the situation has gone turned. He sees his wife glitches, and the construction turns dark. In the end, he sees 2 moons colliding, and finally, the whole universe fade away into the darkness. A moment later, Brendan's script suddenly runs again, and the world began to reform. Planets, microbes, viruses, sea animals, humans, and whole urban are now back to normal without any other glitches, including the Mandela effect. Then the scene returns when Brendan, Claire, and also Sam are at the ocean side. When Sam goes looking for snails, Brendan calls Sam and tells her to leave the interested George doll, which looks like it doesn't have a tail anymore. Lastly, as Sam goes searching for snails, Brendan keeps an eye on his daughter. And the movie ends. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel grow. Thank you for watching.